Welcome back to Music News TV. This is Tim Hunter, and this newscast rather, is actually sponsored by our friends at Hollywood Circles. HollywoodCircles.com if you want all the industry good stuff and news and information. Go check those guys out over there for music, film, TV, streaming, all that information, as well as gaming. Check them out. HollywoodCircles.com. HollywoodCircles.com. Let's get into it. Today's music news. Unfortunately, we got some bad news to report here. Sinead O'Connor, the iconic singer, activist, and Irish, I guess, folklore songstress, has passed away today. The family released a statement acknowledging her death, but they did not give a reason as to what actually happened there. I'm not sure if she was ill for a while there, but geez, it's just sad to report. If you guys are not familiar with it, but she had a song called "Nothing Compared to You." If any of you guys remember that at all, she was a real popular singer there. She actually had about 10, I say yeah, about 10, 10, no, 10 albums. Yeah, I would say 10 albums. So out of those 10 albums, there, "Nothing Compares to You" definitely was the biggest. She started her career actually with the one the one album that she had. It was called "The Lion and the Cobra." As a matter of fact, the image that you're seeing right now is from the Lion and the Cobra album cover. Now, Sinead O'Connor, she made waves not only with "Nothing Compares to You," the actual song that really put her on the map, but she was also controversial. She actually really took over the world headlines in the early 90s, actually in 1992 to be exact, when she went on to Saturday Night Live. Now, if you guys don't know, she was a big fan of Bob Marley. And Bob Marley really influenced her because Bob Marley often spoke out about, you know, I guess things that was controversial, racism and oppression, things like that. And that made him a celebrity in his own right. But what Sinead O'Connor did was she went on Saturday Night Live and she performed what a rendition of Bob Marley's song "War." Now she did this in a unique way. She didn't have a band behind her or anything like that. She was actually surrounded by candles, and she did it really kind of a cappella there. She had a nice voice that if you guys could ever try to look up on YouTube there. But um, this song actually spoke on racism and things that Bob Marley is, known for covering. But at the end of the song, this is where it get really kind of controversial for Sinead O'Connor. She actually pulled out a photo of the Pope, Pope John Paul II, and ripped it up. Yeah, that was a pretty bold statement back then. I mean, she took a photo and ripped it up on Saturday Night Live. And remember back then, I think it's still the same way now. Saturday Night Live was a live show. So there was no edits or anything like that. Everything you're seeing really came from those guys on that show at that exact time there. So that was pretty controversial, and as they called it back then, it was pretty rock starish of her to do that. But that didn't come without consequence. And the consequence was, well, hold on, let me go back a little bit because I don't want to end this story the wrong way. On that piece there, when she ripped that photo, she made a statement saying, "Fight the real enemy." So what she did was she made that direct to the Catholic Church. So just to bring the controversial to a full, its full light there. Obviously, that didn't sit well with SNL or the network. NBC banned her for life. Jesus Christ. Actually, in 2021, she was asked about it and in the interview, and she says, "I'm sorry I did it. It was brilliant." Wow. But to go back into her story there, like I said, she did 10 albums. She had another album called "I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got." That was an interesting album also. Actually, good songs on there though. Um, but around like I say, whew, actually last year. Well, first of all, in 2018, she had joined Islam. So she was really on a spiritual journey. But last year, she had probably her biggest challenge of her life. Her son had went missing. She had a 17-year-old son named Shane. And unfortunately, Shane ended up dead. And she made another interesting statement after his death. She said he decided to end his earthly struggle. So apparently, Shane had been dealing with some things that was pretty overwhelming. And it's unfortunate that he had lost his life before getting that resolved. But nonetheless, she moved forward, and unfortunately, a year later, she lost her life as well. Well, Sinead O'Connor, she actually came here. She made her mark in the music industry, and she did it well. That's it for Music News TV. Check us out at musicnewstv.com. You can get more information on Sinead O'Connor's story as well. You can subscribe as well and like this video. Thank you guys, and tune in for more.